Welcome to another aXpire update, this time for week 39 of 2019. On the project side of things, we've had a really successful work week in Miami, with a digital shares meeting that went really well, and also with a resolver meeting that provided good insights into a future sales cycle. Beyond this, we're continuing work on all of our products, with 2 new product-specific sites right around the corner, as well as with a complete rework and redesign of the project website on the way. Product development is going strong, and Paybox especially is looking better than ever. We're also working on adding new features to Resolver that was requested by a $30 billion anchor client. That's all for the project side of this week's update. Next, we have This Week in Crypto, bringing a collection of news and happenings from this past week to your attention, as well as giving you our brief opinion on them. This week, Binance both launched Binance.us and also announced that they were opening up to purchases of crypto with fiat. They integrated with the payment processor Coinal, allowing purchases of BTC, BCH, ETH, LTC, and XRP to be made with fiat. The purchase option is not open to some jurisdictions, however, including countries like the US, Russia, and China. There is a noticeable transaction fee of 2.5%, but this move is likely to provide Binance with some extra firepower to compete with the Coinbase for new user adoption. Coinbase is currently seen as the place to begin if you're getting started with crypto, but Binance is certainly trying to replace Coinbase with themselves, as can be seen with its fiat purchase option, as well as with the advent of the Binance Knowledge platform. Being close to the US and some other jurisdictions could pose a problem for this, however. We are always interested in seeing how Binance continues to innovate on their platform. We think they are doing a great job in expanding this space. Next, we have interesting news from the chief economist of the massive Dutch multinational bank ING. They released a video to their Think platform wherein their chief economist outlined his belief that Libra developments are causing central banks around the world to accelerate in their efforts to build central bank currencies, such as research around building the e-krona in Sweden led by the Riksbank, the Swedish central bank. Mark Cliff, the chief economist of ING, said there was, quote, some urgency in the policy community, referring to the bank's drive towards developing central bank issued currencies within 2 to 3 years. The advent of Libra has sparked much discussion, with central banks looking disfavorably on the currency, and with staunch cryptocurrency advocates even being against it. Germany and France are looking to block the launch of the currency in their respective countries, and the US is not looking very favorably upon the currency either, as seen through Senate Banking Committee hearings, with Libra chief David Marcus and others being grilled by congressmen and congresswomen. The rise of central bank digital currencies will be interesting to follow, and it's clear that the general idea is spreading and growing fast. To quote Cointelegraph's coverage of the case, in a major report released ahead of Facebook's revelations, the Bank of International Settlements indicated this January that 70% of global central banks were engaged in CBDC work, but that only 2 had concrete plans at the moment to proceed to issuance. In other news, we have a funny scam attempt that was targeted at an unknown number of British people. The scam attempt consisted of a fake royal letter requesting a large amount of Bitcoin with a supposed 30% interest return after an undisclosed period. The amount was purportedly meant to maintain the local economy after Brexit, according to the letter, and that this was the second time the Queen had appealed to, quote, a certain number of people to save Great Britain's economy. Obviously, it's very unlikely that anyone fell for this scam attempt, especially due to how poor the English was, and due to the fact that the British are relatively financially competent. At least holders of Bitcoin, which one would assume to be wary of scams like this at this point. Regardless, make sure to always think in cases wherein you believe something to be too good to be true. In most cases, it probably is. In adoption news, Ethereum dev shop and incubator Consensus announced a partnership with the World Wildlife Fund. These 2 parties are aiming to roll out a platform called Impactio that will improve the transparency of philanthropy. It's quite funny how I mentioned this use case in the latest Blockchain for Good episode, talking about the Pineapple Fund and how blockchain can help better provide transparency and remittance opportunities for philanthropy. If you're interested, then you can find that video in the description. Anyways, the Impactio platform will allow non-profits to list their projects on the platform with clear goals in accordance with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and then they can receive funding for which there is transparent tracking of through the platform leveraging blockchain technology. We're obviously very excited about this use of blockchain technology, and we think that charity and philanthropy especially is such a great use case to truly show the quality of the technology. It's hard to argue against a technology that fundamentally improves charitable efforts. And the last piece of news for this week's update, blockchain platform Cardano announced that they were helping New Balance, the sports brand sponsoring Premier League soccer club Liverpool FC, with using their platform. New Balance will reportedly leverage Cardano to ensure product authenticity, allowing their customers to check if their bought apparel is legitimate. Sports goods are notorious for being sold as fake merchandise in tourist area markets, and adding blockchain is a good way to ensure that second-hand buyers especially are not being ripped off with fake goods. This again is also a use case that we support, and it is inevitable that luxury goods as well would adopt blockchain for tracking legitimate wares, among many other product sectors. That's all for this week's update. Thanks for watching.